What is going on, LEGO Maniacs? It's Ty the Lego guy here, and welcome to another episode of Make It or Break It, a fake LEGO series. So this one's actually kind of different. We're doing a Star Wars minifig variety pack. So we actually have 7 minifigs. Now the ones in the background, these are the originals. And we're gonna actually compare them against these minifigs, but we actually have a Shore Trooper, a Death Trooper, Jango Fett, Emperor Palpatine, Leia, Luke, and Vader. So we're gonna compare them and yeah, see where Lepin's weak, where it's not. Also, I'm just gonna let you guys know they did not make it. These are complete knockoffs of Lego. There's nothing original about them. It's not like when I did the World War II figs or the Vietnam soldier figs. There's some originality to that. These ones, they're complete knockoffs. So leave in the comments how you'd like me to destroy them. Anyways, really excited to get into this. It's been a while since the last time we've done one of these, and this one's a little bit different than we normally do. We normally don't just take a look at a variety of different figs and really see the differences between the real thing and the fake one. But anyways, enough talk. Let's get right into it. And to begin, what we're going to actually do is just, I'm actually going to demonstrate the first fig, just so you guys can kind of see what you get when you buy these things. So first off, it comes in like a yellow bag like this, just a normal like poly bag basically, bubble wrap bag, whatever you want to call it. And each of these retails for about 50 cents US, so half a dollar. So they're actually very, very cheap. So the first one we'll actually take a look at is, let's look at the Death Trooper. So they just come in these little basic, they're almost like Lego bags, a little stiff. What's interesting too is they actually have writing. Like, it actually looks somewhat legit, which is kind of crazy. So you open her up. What I actually appreciated about this, and let me know what you guys think about this, because I know you can't keep fake Lego, but I really like the fact he came with a pauldron. The Dark Troopers in the battle pack don't come with pauldrons, and I'm missing 2 pauldrons, but it is fake. You can actually tell from the way it feels, but we're gonna obviously review it like we normally do with minifigs. So anyways, as the pauldron falls down, everything comes apart. So they do give you extra hands. They give you some arms and whatnot. Just basic stuff you're gonna need for that minifig. And what's interesting too is they don't put the legs on. I mean, don't put the arms on, but they do put the legs on. So let's just build this guy up. And what I'm going to actually do is build all these guys up. And then we'll compare each of them against the real thing. But you know what? This kind of gives you guys a good idea how they kind of come. The cool thing about it too is it does come with the CMF stands, which is kind of odd. Oh, here's some... right from the get-go, the Lepin's deformed. So obviously they don't have the quality control we got on Lego. But anyways, let's now get into the other figs. I'm going to build them all up, and then yeah, we'll see what they're all like. Alright, well now that we got them all built up, what we're going to do is actually compare them against each of their minifig counterparts, the actual LEGO minifig. One thing I wanted to mention before we get into that though is the quality control on these little stands is actually really, really bad. Just showing you guys this one on Luke's. Now this is not the main reason you're going to buy this, but it's not good. I mean, you'd never get that in a Lego set or in a Lego CMF. The other weird thing about this is there's just always like bits of plastic hanging around after you build it. The other thing that's interesting is each of these minifig poly bags, whatever you want to call them, come with extra hands, which I actually thought was good because I actually was just trying to stick a hand into Jango's arm and it was not fitting, but then fortunately they gave you other ones. So Lepin knows they make mistakes, I guess, so they at least give you more hands. So I guess that's a positive for them. Anyways, let's now break them down minifig by minifig. And here we have the two hover tank. Sorry again about messing that up in the intro. These helmets always throw me off just because they are the same as the shore troopers. They're just in white. So anyways, we have the hover tank pilots. So, you know what? You guys can try and guess which one's which. You're probably gonna get it. It's the one on the left is fake. If what's giving it away basically is just, look how clean it looks on the Lego version. Look at the print on the Lepin version. So it's not, you can just tell it's just not as easily to find. That being said, the torso is actually not terrible. The legs are not terrible. The back torso printing is actually pretty decent on the fake fig. However, you know, the helmet's giving it away. The helmet does come off a little bit too easy. It's not terrible though. This is one of the better ones. And then the angry clone face is actually pretty spot on for the fake fig. Now, what I am going to say, however, is this is where you really start noticing the difference. When you raise the, actually this one's not as bad, but this is really stiff, whereas this one's about Lego quality as far as, roughly Lego quality as far as how easily it moves. The other thing, the legs, I don't know what it is about what's going on down here, but if you guys notice, quality control. See that little, if you guys notice right here, it juts out a little bit. This makes it difficult. Just this little, you know, malformity, whatever you want to call it, makes it difficult to basically just stand them on the stand. So it's just little things. It's not a big difference, but just basically the overall playability of these figs is quite different. The Lego one's much better, but I will say that this is probably one of the better fake figs. I mean, it doesn't look too terrible. This one obviously looks a lot more refined. Anyways, those are the hover tank pilots. Let's now take a look at the Death Troopers. And here we have the Death Troopers. So right from the get-go, what you guys are probably gonna notice is one has a much more glossy look than the other one. So the real one is obviously on the right. The real fig is always going to be on the right. I shouldn't tell you that, so you guys have to guess. But it's pretty noticeable. One is a lot more glossy than the other one. This just looks a lot worn, and again, it is brand new. The other thing I want to mention that I really didn't like about it was the pauldron. The pauldron feels kind of like a garbage bag. Like, there's no other better way to put it. Whereas the Lego one is obviously a cloth one. So you can even see the difference on camera. You know, it's not a big deal, but it's something I've noticed. Again, these both have the angry clone face, and I do believe that Lepin's actually knocking these angry clone faces out of the park. I will say, however, the helmets also actually come off pretty easy. That's the other thing I was going to mention. So, you know, it's not getting terrible points as far as it being fake. It's just the little details are lacking with this fake, well, with the fake fig, right? The torso printing's roughly the same. It's similar. I mean, it almost looks like a little bit more bluish gray on the real minifig versus the old one. It's a little bit lighter print. And then if you flip them around, you're gonna notice the same thing with the back torsos. Again, all these minifigs suffer from it. It's just a thing with Lepin. This is super stiff, whereas this arm is actually decent. So it's like, basically one arm works well, the other one doesn't. As far as the legs go, there is no malformity on the foot. It's just, it doesn't feel exactly like Lego. That's the biggest thing you're gonna notice with these figs, is the feel is really off when comparing them. It's just the Lego one's just a lot easier to play with, a lot easier to move the arms and whatnot, and it just has a refined, more finished look. Again, you wouldn't notice really if you were looking at a shelf with these minifigs on it from a distance. Let's now take a look at the Jangos. And here we have the Jango Fetts. So give you guys a 360 view of these guys. Again, you guys are gonna notice it just looks a little bit more refined. Now keep in mind that this is used in good condition. I never did get this new. This is the old one. And if you look at the old one, there just seems to be a lot more little scratch. Well, it's not necessarily scratches. It's just a different looking type chrome. I actually will say, I do believe that this headpiece, they actually did a decent job. Like, Lepin could have done a lot worse on it. Now, moving on throughout the fig, you can obviously see that the color is way off. This is supposed to be this very unique purple Lego color. Lepin's kind of just thrown a light blue on it and just called it a day. Also, the blaster is off, although I will say I do actually like this blaster. I don't recall ever seeing this in Lego. It almost looks like a custom blaster, which is actually pretty awesome. Now, what you're going to notice the big difference here, though. I take these masks off, and I bet Lepin didn't know this because they never had an original Lego minifig on hand. He does not have the original 2002 Jango Fetts face printing. So, knock right there. I mean, how are they supposed to know? But it is a knock. I mean, they should have done their research a little bit more because it's not a complete replica of the Lego version. Another thing I want to mention with this is the malformity, again with the feet, is sort of there. It is difficult to slam this guy on a plate. And same thing, the arms and legs just don't move smooth, like, or they just pop completely off. Like, anyways, I hope you guys are seeing the differences between these minifigs as we go along. I thought it was a good idea to do a video like this just to see the differences just with the minifigs and getting a Star Wars variety pack. And here we have the Sheev Palpatine fig. And right from the get-go, again, it has this awful garbage bag feel to the cape. It's almost like they just cut it out of it. It's like slightly better plastic than a garbage bag is basically what I'm trying to say. It's not cloth at all. You're going to notice as well, the Force Lightning is quite off. They've made it kind of like a baby blue, whereas it's supposed to be, you know, a mix of dark and light blue. That light blue is not even quite the same light blue as the Lego one. The other thing you'll notice is also the minifig head is a little bit different as far as where they have everything, you know, printed. This head seems to be a little bit taller than this head. There's no other way to put it. As far as the torso and leg printing, I think Lepin actually did a decent job. I'll also show you guys off the back face printing. So this is what I mean. That just came easily off. This, I have to struggle to get it off. Yeah, so anyways, there's the back face printing. Lepin actually did a decent job on this Palpatine fig. I will say, as much as the printing may be off and the cape printing may be kind of bad, they actually did a decent job with a lot of this fig. Same issues we're going to run into though. The arms are stiff. The legs are actually not too bad. It's just quality control. It's just basically the Lego minifig always just looks a little bit more refined. The other thing that will tell you too is it's just more glossy looking. Even look at the hood. I don't know if that's translating on the camera. One has a lot more glossy look to it, the real one, than the fake one just looks a lot more worn. Anyways, those are the Palpatines. Let's now take a look at the Leias. And here we have the Leias. So to begin, we'll give you guys a 360 view of these figs. So what you're going to probably notice is the printing's just a little bit less vibrant on the fake fig on the left. And then one big knock I want to say about this, and this is again just quality control. That's literally like scratch marks and dirt on the minifig's face. So I mean, it's just, it's little things like that, and it just turns you right off the fig. The other thing too is, again, the arms. Actually, the arms aren't, okay, this one's super stiff. Like, it's just little things like that that make the difference on this fig. The colors too. I will say this hairpiece is not too bad, but then, you know, you try and pull off the hairpiece and the entire minifig pops off. So it's actually, it makes it difficult to review. There's our back face printing. Again, it's just almost like there's dirt on it. Like, it's not dirt, it's like scratch marks. It's just the quality control, again, is just not there. But I mean, again, if it was on a shelf, you'd have a hard time noticing. But then when you look close, you're noticing dirt marks, scuff marks. There's even a little bit of dirt on her leg right here. So anyways, there's definite differences. Let's now move on to the Vader. And here we have them. So to begin, let's just give you guys a 360 view of these figs as well. Again, that awful garbage can, garbage bag cape. It's not a cloth cape. If you guys notice here though, the torso printing is actually not bad for the fake one. It is just a little bit less defined, but it's passable. I don't think it's actually that terrible. The one thing I want to mention though with this is see how easily Vader's mask comes off? You try and do that with Lepin's and it literally takes the entire head off. So I'm gonna actually have to fix this so I can show you guys his head. Guys, this is what I'm saying about quality control. This is not something simple where, you know, the lightsaber is a little bit more flashy on the real Lego man than the fake Lego man. I've tried and tried. I literally can't get his head out of this mask. This is obviously the fake one. So you get what you pay for, right? Like, that's pathetic. I can't get the guy's head off. And I've tried to pry it out. I've tried to, you know, take lightsabers and get it out. Like, it doesn't come out. So I mean, this is what you get when you get fake stuff. Like, it's just so hit and miss. Some of it is actually not too bad, but then other times you just get like a terrible Vader where you can't take his mask off. Anyways, I guess that does Vader. I couldn't properly review him because I literally couldn't take the mask off. Like, it's snug in there. I can't get it out. Anyways, let's now take a look at the last fig, which is Luke Skywalker. And here we have the two Lukes. So again, the differences with these two minifigs is ridiculous. First off, let's just mention, you know, the torso. Obviously, it's a bit off with the Lepin one. The Lego one just looks a lot cleaner. The printing's even actually in different locations. Like, they completely screwed up putting another line here. There's not supposed to be a line there. You know, it's just supposed to be, you know, cut and trim, right? And then the faces. Look at the differences in the faces. The other thing too is this hair does not stay on. Like, it's really loose. And let's actually just show you guys the back face printing. So you can kind of see what they're trying to do with the fake one. It kind of looks like that, but then the other back face is literally identical. So it's supposed to be an angry face. It's identical to the front face. So it's just little things like that. You eventually just get tired of it, right? Like, again, too stiff versus, you know, just easily able to move it. It's just, this is maybe one of the worst ones. Again, the lightsaber is a little bit less glossy, but you know what? At least the hairpiece doesn't cover up the head, so you can't actually compare the Lego heads, right? Like the fake one and the real one, like Vader. Anyways, those are the minifigs. Hope you guys can see the differences. Let me know again what you think about these. But now let's get into the end of the comparison and yeah, get my final thoughts. Well guys, that pretty well does the minifig comparison. Let me know what your thoughts are on it. If I'm maybe being a bit too harsh or not harsh enough. I think some of the molds were actually decent. I think, you know, the blasters, some of the helmet molds were actually pretty good on Lepin's part. It's just some of the arms were too loose. Some of the heads were too loose. If you look, Lego has kind of a glossy, nice look to their minifigs, whereas the fake Lego has this, you know, almost like it's a worn, it's almost like it's been around in the sun for like 10 years and it's aged it. Like, it's just, there's no other way to put it. Sometimes when you take the helmets off, the whole head comes out. I mean, you guys saw when we compared them. If you're just sticking these on the shelves, people probably wouldn't notice, as much as I don't advocate buying Lepin or fake Lego for that matter. But I mean, yeah, it's not great. It's just, but it's very cheap. I mean, 50 cents, that is ridiculous. And again, if you guys have any suggestions for how you want me to destroy these minifigs, leave them in the comments. I'll definitely take them into consideration. I might make a one-off video of destroying them in the fashion you guys said, or it might just be in the next Make It or Break It episode, maybe the intro or something. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. But if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future fake reviews, comparisons we do on this channel. We do them probably once every month or two, and I actually really do enjoy doing them. You know, it gives us a different take on fake Lego. You know, is it really as bad as people say? And yeah, you guys get to see the bad stuff get destroyed. So it's an interesting series. But again, that's all I got for you again today. But thanks again for watching. Appreciate the support, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.